Hi, everybody, and welcome in to Minute to Skim It. I see that Corey's going to graduation. Congratulations to whoever's graduation you're going to. Thanks to everybody else that's stopping by. There are a bunch of really great releases this week, including the awesome Spider-Man, Superman, which I know you guys are all waiting, a couple of absolutes, and a bunch of killer independent books. Do some sharing, likes, get yourself subscribed, ring that bell for notifications, and meet me back here in just 1 second. Hi, everybody, and welcome back. This is Minute to Skim It. I'm Jen King. This is The Experience, or CBSN. And this is a review show for comic books that are releasing tomorrow at a local comic shop near you. So you can write down your list for things you might be interested in and let them know so you don't miss any copies. Just by way of saying hi to everybody, hey, I went to go see Speed Racer for its, I don't know, however, 20-year anniversary or whatever it was yesterday at the AMC. I had completely forgotten how bonkers that film is and how many super bright colors. And I totally got in trouble with my general manager today by telling her, I said, I only watched that movie one time and now I remember why. It was okay. And she says, I don't even want to talk to you. I'm giving my 2 weeks notice. I was like, okay, man, I'm sorry. I take it all back. It was a movie. But we also had the discussion that it was released on 4/20. So maybe the people that were baked yesterday liked it more. So I would think, though, maybe if you maybe had some, if you got epileptic seizures by strobing lights, it would be real hard to watch that movie, I will just say. But no, I think my feedback was this is a movie that came out way before AI was a thing. But because a lot of it was CG and like motion capture stuff, it did have a feeling of like maybe this is what AI is going to look like. And that part I didn't like. But I did like the monkey and I liked the little kid. His brother was awesome. And there was a moment with his dad where he got the hugs that made me cry a little. But yeah, the racing stuff turns out is exactly like fights in movies for me. It puts me right to sleep. Although I think that's the part of the movie you're supposed to want to watch. All right, we're going to talk about comic books. Those are never bad. We love them all. All right, just like Superman, Spider-Man, which came out last month, it is a bunch of different stories. No, they're not the same stories that were in your Superman, Spider-Man. I know that was a big confusion for Batman, Deadpool. People thought that was the same book being released again. I know the problem is that they both have 1 billion covers. There's a bunch of them. In my experience, there's going to be one that's going to be the hot one or two. And those are going to be in short supply or like really competitive for them. So maybe if you get to see all the covers, like look for them on the internet or whatever, you can definitely get with your local comic shop early so you don't miss out on them. There are maybe 10 stories in here. Some of them are just like a page or 2 pages. They're great. Let's see who worked on this. Meltzer, Larraz, Wilson, Slott, Martin, Johns, Frank, Simonson, Nock, Bendis, Pichelli, Phillips, Noto, and more. Ton of really amazing creators working together to get to play in a space where you've got characters from both Marvel and DC living on the exact same pages. The Spider-Man, Superman story, which kicks off the book, is much longer than the rest of them, and I loved it. It had enough breathing space to really kind of like explore those two characters trying to understand each other. And there's something that happens that usually is something symbiotic that happens in the Spider-Man universe, which happens to Superman in this book. So, and you get to see Spidey kind of explore with Superman kind of like the why he does what he does, that power and responsibility thing. Does it really need to be a bad thing for him? And I really like that Superman has kind of like insight for him that should make him like think differently about what he does. So that part's really good. And then there's a ton of other stories in the book that are great. Enjoy them. Support this effort, because this is what I'm going to say about things like this. These kind of like cool projects where we get to have Marvel and DC play in the same universe. If we support it with our dollars, that doesn't mean you have to buy every cover of this book, but if you buy one of these books, it will send a sign to Marvel and DC that we love it when they let creators play in both universes at the same time. Heck, maybe someday we'll see both those characters in the same movie, but probably too much. Yeah. I mean, the putting these guys together, the thought process that they made for what characters in those two parts of the universe made sense to put in a story, like, you know, putting Brainiac together with there's a story in here that's Brainiac and somebody that makes sense. Just like, oh yeah, this is a really cool story. I like these guys. Grabbing the 1 in 200. Woo! Bar-Lord. Playing in the big leagues, I see. Who's the cover artist for the 1 in 200? I haven't even looked at the covers yet. You guys don't know this, but the person who does all of the ordering for the comic books, Shanice, is the same person that processes all of them, like puts them in bags and boards and gets the stickers put on them and gets them in the pull boxes and stuff. So I, like you, when I do my next show, for the covers, all the different covers, that's the first time I see them too. So I just get to enjoy them the way you guys get to, which is seeing them on the day. Ooh, it's Stegman black and white. Ooh, I like Steg. Stegman's awesome. Well, enjoy that. I say, like, there's some people that like shame people for buying variants, and I think that's silly, because part of loving comic books is loving art, and the cover is art. So get the ones you love, man. Don't feel like you got to buy everything, but if you love what something looks like, and the money is yours to spend how you like, then, you know, buy responsibly. Yeah. Sucker for pencils. Oh, I'm a sucker for pencils too. I don't know if you guys know about my project. Okay. We'll talk about that later. All right. Done with that book. It's awesome. Get some. Headlopper. All right. I first remember this awesome Jordi Belair and Andrew McLean series coming out long ago from Image. Pre-pandemic, this series kind of like launched and then had a few, as far as I remember, little series that kind of rolled out of it. So kind of like if you guys have ever read from like Vault Comics Barbaric, how it had like a main series and then focused on another character and then gave us a single shot and all that stuff. I feel like Headlopper is kind of like that as a universe, and I love it very much. I will say, if you like Dork, because it lives in that space of kind of like gods and swords and sorcery, you will like this also. And this is really neat because it has a whole bunch of story at the beginning, because this is a big prestige format book. It's saying it's semi-annual, so it's basically saying they're going to try to do it once a year, but there's a lot of art and story in here. But they have like really great lore in the beginning where it has like full page, like here is like if you were reading like Grendel, or I'm trying to think of other like cool medieval like stuff that is like, this is the poetry about the gods and whatever that are part of this universe. So here's the origin of everything, blah 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 blah, and how it came to be. So all you really need to know is that Headlopper has in his possession, you can see this little blue haired head that he's carrying around. That is a witch. The witch's head has like this amazing power in it. So she was dying, and then some like power was imbued into her. And that has happened way a long time ago in the series, but they actually readdress it here in this book for you. And now he's carrying around 2 more heads in his other hand, which may or may not be explained in this book, but hadn't happened before. So that is super awesome. So this is like full long story about like why he is the way he is, what's his task and all those things. But the cool thing also is at the end of this book, there's another whole story, which is origin of, it's called 3 Witches or something. But it gives you the origin of the witch before she loses her head and gets all the power. So it is all this art also, by the way. So if you don't like kind of like real stylized line art like this, I would just pre-warn you that this is the art style here. Sometimes he only is a beard and hair and no face. So it gets pretty minimalist. Not quite as minimalist as Danny does in Batwoman, which is real minimalist, kind of that's more like Frank Miller style. This is this style right here. It's definitely, Jordy Belair stuff when you see it. So if you like these kinds of awesome books, support this thing, because if they're only putting it out every once in a while, it needs to know whether it has an audience still. So recommend. Righteous Herb to fully appreciate some of that art? I don't think so. I really enjoy it. I just have to like turn off my body, the part of my brain that says the art I want to look at in a comic book is more like I get spoiled by like painted art, right? When I get myself into that, or like traditional comic art style, you just kind of like, it takes a few pages to get your brain be like, okay, this is the art I'm looking at. All right, this one's super gorgeous and trippy. Okay, this is In Your Skin. This is very interesting. This is a little bit story about a girl who probably is in her head a little too unhealthily about a famous actress. So in this story, I feel like it's the actress is part of like the Bollywood crowd, and the story kind of goes back and forth between like this girl who she gets belittled by her mom about that she's not skinny enough to get a husband, and if she lost some weight, maybe this one guy that she knows might ask her to. And you see that there's like some very painful history with her, and then part of the story that gets really, really twisty. And by the way, there's some very adult situations in this book, including think about when they talk about the casting couch, if that helps you. So there is part of the story in which the girl does get access to this actress that she's like obsessed with, and then it gets real sideways. I'm not going to tell you. I mean, the title of it is very spoilery, but you don't know that until you've read the book. So just know, I will call it beautiful horror or body horror. How's that? That's what that book is. So if you like body horror, it's your thing. Corpse Night. Man, they've been doing a bunch of promotional like chit chat about this book. It has been kind of like in a bunch of groups. They're talking about it. Is this the next big thing? And in this case, I hope everybody put it on their pull list, because it does live up to the hype. It's a very wonderful launch for a very easy to understand premise. So in this book, it's mostly about a dad and a daughter who they live back in the time of Joan of Arc. They actually discuss about like the miracle that Joan does I'm not going to spoil that for you because if you don't know the miracle that that's attributed to her, it's kind of like the spoiler for this book. But I will tell you that because of the story that's told to this little girl, when she is later attacked, she uses that information to pray for protection, which sounds weird until you understand it's Joan of Arc. And of course, she was attributed to like miraculous stuff. So heartbreaking tale, but also a lot of comeuppance happen in this book. And yeah, it's good historical look, and it's just really gorgeously drawn. Like the art style in the book is this art style on the outside, so it's not, you're not going to be like so different from what the cover art is. I actually had someone, you guys tell me what you think. I had someone in one of the groups I follow, which is like a billion of them, say the other day that they think that the cover art for any comic book should be the same artist that's on the inside, and only that person. I mean, the main A cover. Maybe not all of them, but just like the A cover should be the interior artist, so that you know that kind of like this art is what the art style is going to be on the inside. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that that needs to be a standard instead of what we have now, which is like the cover artist is often not the same person that the art style is on the inside? Which I usually like to say whether the cake is a lie, which is like a Portal reference. The cake is a lie. The cover is a lie. What do you guys feel like about that specifically? Do you care? Do you know that the inside's going to be something else? You don't care? Nope. What if the cover artist doesn't want to do interiors? That's a good point, Jay. Good point. They don't want to do like many, many pages. Rather, any characters in the cover be in the book. Okay, so Barlord's bringing up the thing like when you see covers that have got a whole bunch of different characters on the front, and then those characters never show up in the book. Yeah, I don't want it to be a complete lie. The characters should be standard for certain editions. Got you. I do like it when, like for Corpse Night or for Headlopper, when I can say, if you like the cover art, then you're like the interior art. It helps me as a bookseller to like help people gauge whether they'll actually like a book or not after I've told them what the book is about and they still don't know for sure. Mr. Towers is in the house, maybe number ones. I don't know. I don't think we can make it a standard, but it is an interesting concept to think about. All right, what's next? Don't miss Corpse Night, by the way. It is going to be fire. Event Horizon Inferno. Okay, how spoilery can I get here? Event Horizon is based on a movie that came out forever and a half ago. I think, was it Sam Neill in it? The guy from Jurassic Park? I'm gonna out myself. I know a lot about Event Horizon as a movie because I used to do a show called Starship Smackdown. Sam Neill's best role. Okay, so I'm not crazy. And we had to limit Event Horizon for not being in the Starship Smackdown because it was just too dangerous. There was no way really to fight it. Because I guess I can tell you guys, this movie's been out forever and ever and ever. That the twist about it is that the Event Horizon is basically, it can get to hell. It is hell. I am home. So you guys can clarify that if I'm saying it wrong about that part of it. But this is years and years later. The events of the Event Horizon are known, and it goes back and tells an origin story that you don't really know is an origin story for the ship until later on. But so pay attention to the early storyline. It is about two brothers who make themselves a nice little like star circle and summon themselves a demon for fun. And they're not real sure if it's successful. And then move forward in time. They have figured out where the Event Horizon is. It's just like half a ship. And so they send a team out there to go and grab onto it because they know it's a thing of great power, but I don't think they know what they're getting themselves into. So it's cool to see what's in the ship, what's survived in the ship, what's going on about it. You're correct, although I always thought they would tie it to Hellraiser. Ooh, that would be cool. Very cool. But yeah, the art is really, really cool. It's not exactly the way it is on the front cover. That's kind of more painted looking. But the cover is by Christian Ward, so it is somewhat like that, but not as like that is like really detailed there. But it is super trippy. So if you don't scare easily, I guess. Don't read before bed. If you made the cover artist be the interior artist, Dynamite would be seriously messed up. Well, I mean, we're just talking about cover A, TJ. We were just talking about just cover A only. So A cover. And then you can put all the variants out there. But if I'm selling my A cover to somebody, I could say, this is the same interior artist. Just like this. Here we go. Absolute Wonder Woman. All right, we're still in the storyline dealing with Zatanna and her, I think, father, Zatan. This is about Wonder Woman trying to get him out of, he's like stuck somewhere. So trying to get him out, but she's also kind of gotten herself in some kind of weird, like stuck state. She attributes that to messing around with the Triskel. And what else can I tell you without messing it up? If you like Zatanna and you like other, like the magics side of Absolute Wonder Woman, you will continue to like this storyline. I'm excited I love that they keep on going back to Cersei. There's a whole conversation at the beginning of the book where Hecate is like hanging out with them in Hell and discussing something very specific that we've always known about Wonder Woman, that she has as part of her godlike powers that were attributed to her by the gods and goddesses that she follows, is this like people have to kind of like her. They naturally like her. So the discussion here is that I think Hecate is like really sad inside because the inference here is that if that is her power to always make people like her or to be influenced by her, then how can she ever know if anyone actually likes her? You know what I'm saying? So she's super sad about that. So that kind of is the lead out for the storyline. Zatara, thank you. Zatara, thank you. Trying to remember everybody's names. It's like a lot of them in this book. And names is the thing that makes me crazy. So yes, continuing awesomeness. Enjoy this book. And our other absolute book for this week is 100% trippy. So it talks about the Mirror Master, right? When last we saw Wally had been kind of like, he had seen his dad, who was in the still place. That's not right. Maybe it is a still place. Cool design. Yeah, it is a cool design for Mirror Master. So they know where he is, but they get stuck. Him and I think this is his friend. I think it's Linda. Like I said, not good with names. But anyway, they get stuck in the mirror dimension. And the cool thing about the way this book is designed, if you ever want to like say, we're going to give this guy all the awards for design, but oh no, we have Absolute Martian Manhunter that's competing with it. This is so cool. So when you find out that he's been sucked into the mirror dimension, because you can see other things through the mirror cracks that are everywhere. And he's got these like weird cloned Mirror Masters chasing him around within the dimension. The page starts turning. So the lettering and everything starts making this rotation for a few pages. And then eventually everything is upside down. So if you can read upside down like I can, I just kept on reading it. And then it actually tells you in the book, now you have to read right to left, not left to right, which is pretty trippy. And there's a big reveal at the very end that once you put 2 and 2 together about what's happening with the Mirror Master, then you can be like, oh my gosh, what is going on? This is going to be super crazy. Oh, I love the storytelling so much in all of these books. The Meyer is just killing it, and I don't really care anything about Flash. I told you that I didn't know anything about Flash before jumping into here, that I was confused about. Like, I knew there were a bunch of Flashes, but I didn't know how they're related, and it doesn't really matter because, you know, this is a whole different thing. But yes, very exciting, super exciting. Don't miss it. Pay attention very closely to the very last page, because there is definitely something that happens within the image there that you have to be looking for to understand what's going on. Oh, you guys are all smarty patardies. You don't need me to tell you anything. You got it. All right, Diablo. This is interesting because I have never, ever, ever, ever played Diablo. So I can't even tell you if Cullen Bunn is writing something that's based on part of the game that's already existing, or if this is all totally something new and different. But this is essentially about, I'm looking for the guys' names because I'm really bad at remembering people's names, obviously, especially when I just read like a million billion things. So there is a guy that everyone's kind of like treating like he is kind of a prophet or a god. And he has like, he talks about the devotion to the light, right? So he sees light. He wants everyone to follow him. And the problem here is that the main character here doesn't know if he believes this guy, believes in this guy. Prophet. Akarat. There you go. So they've been following him, and they have to worry about whether he is a real deal. So through the storyline here, the main character kind of like makes his warrior's journey, and whether like the cool, it's just like where they live kind of looks like swords and sorcery kind of place. When they get attacked, there are a bunch of people that get killed as part of this, but of course the prophet said this is kind of like the way things are supposed to go. But there is one image in this book which makes me crazy. So do you guys like it when they do, like, they have a really close up of an eye and there's something happening in the reflection of the eye, which is really cool. Like, it's such a cool thing. Got to talk to Cullen for a bit while he was at a con on the FOC. He's a big fan of the games and lore. Okay, so he is basing this on stuff that's actually happening or is tied to it somehow. So if you've played the game, you probably understand it a lot more. But something happens in the book to this young man that's on the cover, in which he is kind of like, he's touched by the prophet, who shows him kind of like what his future is going to be. So it is, as far as a video game tied book, it was entertaining to me. I didn't really get lost. I understood what I was reading in the book. The only lost thing I had was that I did not know if this is just like a representation of stuff that's happened in the game. Is this like cutscene stuff? Or is this original completely told in the story space? I don't know the answer to those things, but I can tell you I really enjoyed what the book was. And the art is like the cover. Not a lie. Okay. I need to go back and watch The Phantom because I really loved this book and I did not know I would like it so much. So The Phantom's a character that's like from a long time ago, right? Long time ago. To a much more simple time. But like he has like this, at least according to what's in here, he has a place kind of like hidden out, I would call it, in the jungle, where he's kind of like has it as kind of a sanctuary for people. and that gets threatened by this group. So he is gone after, I'm going to call it the Sky Band because that's what it says up there. It's a group of air-based, I want to call them mercenaries or something, who he is hunting down one by one and branding them with his ring, which I didn't remember this. Maybe it was part of the original movie or the comic books. But what that means is that no one will give them help and or sell to them. It's like like if you have the mark of that skull, then no one trusts you or gives you food or help or anything. So it kind of like cuts you off from all of your resources, which seems like a really horrible way to go because maybe you have to be like plant your own food or something. But it's neat because in the storyline is, I think there's like 5 people that he goes after. Because of the way things work out, there is somebody that he interacts with that he ends up being kind of more aligned with, even though by way of telling the storyline, he says that he's given people this ring thing before that have then later on told him it was the right thing for him. So this is a cool storyline. And it's boss to see a character stand in front of another character who's got a gun to his head and say, who's like, I'm just going to kill you. I got the drop on you. I'm just going to kill you now. And he's like, are you going to? Because for as far as you know, I can't be killed. So what you doing, man? It's just such a boss move to be able to be like, if you think you can. Spoiler alert, can't, well, at least in this book, can't kill the Phantom. So, oh my gosh, I was so excited for this number 2. All right, I will get you caught up if you did not get a copy of the other /half. So this is about a husband team who one of them is part of the upper crust. He's the blonde guy there. He hangs out with fancy people that have a lot of money. And then his husband, who has the mustache, who is kind of like an every guy. Just an every guy. And he's like a PI or something. But they get asked in the first book to help a friend of theirs, a mutual friend of theirs, to assure this a woman that's very, very rich and has a diamond, and she wants to have it displayed. And so she talks to these guys into like, will you check out the place and make sure it's secure and the alarm's going to work and all this stuff. And no one else really knows these guys, but she trusts them implicitly. So even before this thing actually gets fully displayed, it gets stolen. It's like one of those things like, it's gone. Where'd it go? Nobody knows. And so then these guys get asked kind of on the down low to try to help find it. But the way they figure out that they can do this is because the PI is really the guy in the mustache, but he needs to be able to talk to the upper crust guys that are involved. They're going to switch roles. And they're going to have the blonde fellow kind of dressed down, which is hilarious. In this whole issue, it's them going to go and get each other the other person's kind of like clothing stuff. And you guys watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine? You know how the lieutenant was? How he was like, I'm not touching anything. That is like, no one would ever wear blue jeans. 9-9! No one would ever wear blue jeans. And you know, like how he's hoity-toity. That's the blonde guy, but not in a condescending way to his husband, of course. They love each other. But it's just so cute to see them interact. It's the cutest. But the actual police officer that's in charge of the figuring stuff out doesn't trust either of them. And there's other big difficulties. And it ends in a big, gigantic, like, uh-oh, for them in this book. So anyway, it's part relationship cuteness and part whodunit, kind of like crime noir fun. It's just a fun romp. I mean, it's it's not for someone that wants like, I want something real serious today. I want something that just makes me happy and I enjoy reading. Let's try out this awesome book. All right. Thundercats and Silverhawks. This is the Thunderhawks, which is the part 3 of the storyline that's going on. The 3 of 15 of the storyline. This one's really neat because it talks more about the kind of like the why everyone's kind of stuck in this Earth 6 or yeah, I think it's Earth 6 when they're originally from Earth 3 or Dimension 3. Nick and Nora. I don't know Nick and Nora. Tell me more about that, TJ. Ouch. Sorry, leg cramp. So this is, I guess that forever and ever and ever, the Silverhawks have been trying to get back there. Could be wrong about that. I think it's the Silverhawks. But it's like this drawn out thing where every time they get a little bit close to solving everything, then they get stuck not getting to go. But I think that's part of the thing. I think that's how they ended up with us. Infinite Playlist movie. Ooh, I need to watch that. I haven't seen that one. Thanks for the recommend. And there's like these evil Silverhawk characters that keep showing up and wrecking everything. And I don't know, maybe they're from the original universe. They're making it difficult. And there's a big food shortage that they're trying to prevent. There's a bunch of stuff going on in here. So I like seeing it because they have a lot of cool technology that they show. You just own it, Barlord. It's like, I got a copy of it. Well, now you can totally watch it. So I love it all because it's Thundercats and Silverhawks universes all put together in a very interesting way. And it's Ed Brisson writing. So if you like either of those universes, you will definitely like these Thin Man series. Nick and Nora Charles, William Powell, and Myrna Loy. Very cool. All right. As far as I can tell, this takes place either during Jedi, right before Jedi, somewhere in there, because it's Luke, Leia, Boba Fett's still in play. So it has to be before Boba Fett gets eaten by the Sarlacc. And R2-D2, C-3PO. So not Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. Okay. Never mind. We've got it all wrong. So this has, as part of its storyline, a big battle between Boba Fett and Luke. And it mentions that cool metal from, I think we get introduced to it in Mandalorian, right? Isn't that where is that Bashir that makes the special metal alloy that can resist lightsaber hits? So anyway, that's part of this whole like fight that happens. And I forget what they're actually trying to do. What are they trying to do? I can't remember. Beskar, thank you. I watched like the first part of that, just like every Star Wars thing that they put out. I watch the first part of it, then I get distracted by rewatching things like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Oh my goodness gracious. So yeah. Oh, I know what's going on. This is Vader sensing on the planet that they're currently trying to go grab stuff from, sensing like a big power in the Force. So he shows up, and so they're just trying to get on the planet. Luke and Leia and those guys are just trying to get on the planet, grab the thing that they need, and get out of there. There is an object that's like some kind of old Jedi power or something, like an egg. I don't know what it really is. And so they're, Luke is trying to hunt it down, even though it was hidden long ago as being an object that's supposed to be too powerful. No one should really have it. There's probably a reason why it's hidden away. It should be hidden. But yeah, it's fun. Normal Star Wars telling. And Luke looks awesome. I think the whole book inside is all one art style. The cover is Noto here, but it looks very similar to what that art is. And I don't know. There's something about the interior artist, how he draws Luke's face. He gets like that Mark Hamill, I don't know how to explain it. Like, Mark's got like a very distinct lip. I don't know. I always think it's magical when people can draw somebody in lots of different poses that looks exactly like the person that it's supposed to be. Like, I just think they have like some kind of magic power in them. Do you guys feel that way? Are you artists and you're like, it's so easy. Just like look at yourself in the mirror and you can get the angles right. It's like, I feel like you can draw a guy who is a blonde dude that is the right age, but can you make the face look like that person every time? It's so hard. Okay, next. Barely do stick figures, you and me both. Captain America. This is number 9, called Doom's Shadow. It's part 4 of this series. Okay, so the big players in this book are Captain America and this guy called what's this guy's name? My brain's gonna give me Sanctuary, and that's not right. Dadgummit. Hold please, it's on the last page, so I might actually be able to do it. What's this guy's name? Salvation. No. Is that his real name? He doesn't show up until like the very end of the book, which is really cool. Like when they draw it out. It is Salvation. Salvation. Okay. So there's a bunch of different factions that are in play here. You got like Shield / are they Hydra? I don't know. So there's Shield / our government. There's Steve and his group, and then a group that is kind of like part of Sanctuary's team. So here's the difficulty. Hey, Rudolph. So everybody is after either Latveria or Doom's weapons of mass destruction that they know is they assume are hidden somewhere in Latveria. They think that they're buried underground or whatever, but they're not sure, because otherwise they would have found them by now, because it's been part of the storyline for quite a while that they've been looking for them. So the bad thing is that I think it's Salvation's group they've killed civilians in their rush to power / to find these things, and or the government under Shield, because they feel like the damage that could be done if they don't control these things, they feel it would be much higher than what is currently going on, and they don't see Latverians as necessarily them. So Steve's gotten together with Latverians, namely this redheaded girl there, who is one of the Von Doom's daughter, I think. And so she's saying, no, I don't want any of this stuff to happen. I don't want to be the ruler. Definitely don't want to be the ruler. But we need to stop this. So Steve is kind of going off book. He's very untrusted by most of the groups. And he's definitely not Latvian. So he's saying that she has to lead this charge. It can't be him. He's an American. He's not from there. So it's very much, this whole series feels a whole bunch like talking about world politics, right? Like going in and policing a place. Did they ask for it? Did they not ask for it? So it's not to start a discussion about war, but just kind of like a cool thought process about all the things that are in play and how everyone's point of view about them might seem right to them, but the rest of the group, not so much. Okay, and also Armageddon assembles in 2 months. I hope you guys are avoiding all the spoilery parts about it. I have managed to, I love big story arcs, and I don't want to. I want to go in fresh. I just want to follow the storyline where it's going. All right, this is Amazing Spider-Man Spider-Versity. This is a really fun storyline, especially if you like all of the side characters in the Spider-Verse. This is led by Miles Morales, and he has gathered together some of what they would consider the younger people, right? So you've got Spider-Girl, you've got Spider-Boy, Silk, Aranya, Ghost Spider. I feel like there's one more that's not on this cover. And he's brought them together and he's trying to pitch them an idea. Playoff hockey. I'm sorry, I cannot compete with hockey. Hockey's going to win. Go puck ball. No, sports puck. So Miles is trying to explain to them, like, we've had a lot of big bads that have shown up. And we need to, we've got the Avengers have all worked together and they do a good job of working together most of the time. And you got the X people and those guys have a team and they work together all the time. Why don't the Spider people have a thing? Why don't we train together for when there is some kind of like big event, something's attacking all of everything, that we can at least like play to our strengths, that we've played in the same battlefield before and we don't get in each other's way and we figure out what we're going to do, right? So he's pitching to them pretty hardcore about like not having a school, but they do name it Spider-Versity. And there's a lot of discussion about, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's a good idea. But he pitches the idea. He's like, I was kind of like, the idea was given to me by Norman Osborn, and I think it's a good idea. And he was basically doing a good job of taking over for Peter Parker while he was gone. And so I think he's on the up and up. I think he really is a good guy. And then immediately afterwards, he attacks everybody. Now, you might be smart enough to figure out what's going on there. So I'm not going to spoil that for you, but this is really cool. And then, Jessica Drew shows up. So, super fun, good stuff, lots of smack talking. And yes, good fight. There is a good fight in this one. It's like a fight you care about because you care about these characters. That's all the comic books I looked at today. But here are some really awesome graphic novels that you need to be paying attention to. You've got to finally get a chance to get Godzilla, Here There Be Aliens, because, there's nothing like kaiju fighting aliens. That makes a lot of sense. Also, JLA Salvation Run. I've had a lot of people asking about this because I think this is there's a story, movie, something that's going to go on with this. I know that they dropped that information already, so you guys probably already know it. Hey, listen, this may not be your jam, but it is going to be the jam of someone you know. Sweet Valley Twins has a new book. New graphic novel available. Sweet Valley Twins is really good. There's a new printing of the big DC finest, Batman, A Death in the Family by Jim Starlin and Aparo. That is a storyline that everyone should own, especially right now. Everyone's getting pretty obsessed with all of the Bat Kids. This was an amazing little series put together by the team behind Ice Cream Man called Superman Kryptonite Spectrum. Sweet Valley University books were a bit spicy at times. Well, yeah. If you get to university, it's going to be spicy. Also, as part of the Elseworlds books, Batman Gotham by Gaslight, The League for Justice hardcover is available this week. Rat City Volume 2 from the Spawn universe. This is also your reminder that Spawn is getting taken over for writing by our good friend Matt Rosenberg. You should absolutely sign up for that stuff because if you've ever read any of Rosenberg's stuff, you know it's about to get real. Simon Kujansky's No Man's Land. This might actually be an original graphic novel. I will tell you what this thing is about. It's a crime and mystery book. It says the Bering Strait, Diomede Islands. For 3 months each year, you can walk from the USA to Russia across an ice bridge, a frozen path known as the Ice Curtain. In 1963, when the body of a young woman is discovered on this icy no man's land, the already fragile relationship between the superpowers threatens to collapse. With nuclear tensions rising, an FBI agent and a KGB operative must solve the murder before the ice melts and war ignites. That sounds dope. Oh, the Salvation location was the last store in Peacemaker. Oh, that's why I didn't get to watch Peacemaker either. Ooh. And if you are loving everything from Ghost Machine as a tie to Hyde Street, you can get this awesome Sisterhood graphic novel. It's like a ghosty story set in a sorority. I was trying to think fraternity. And then there is a new Savage Sword of Conan Reformed. That's also available. I know there's a bunch of other stuff, but that's stuff that we got in. That's all I can think of for this week. Definitely go to your local comic shop or call them tonight and tell them which of these things that you would like to have added to your polls. It will definitely help them to be thankful for the information. And like I always say, if you spend $5 at your local comic shop a week, they will never need to have any kind of worry about staying open. That's all it really needs. Just a tiny little bit of support every week from you. And tonight, I'm also, in about 8 minutes, going to be pop back on and offer all of these things for you. So stay tuned for that. And Jay, is there anything else coming on today?
Well, we were going to debut the Tuesday 10, but Kyle has decided to wait one more week for that. So, folks, join Ms.Jen next. Ms.Jen will be closing out our day today, and everyone have an awesome rest of their night.
Bye, everybody.